What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade coming to y'all with some of the biggest and hottest news again on this Tuesday evening. We're going to talk about how video game Dame, a man that made a name for himself because of Lillard time, a top 75 player ever, had a fortunate thing happen to him where he ruptured his Achilles and it took him out for the rest of the playoffs. Made the Donis and Yang duo basically come to an end because now they're waiving him to clear cap space with a stretch provision to be able to sign Myles Turner to take his spot with a 4-year, $104 million deal, I believe. $107 million deal, which makes a lot of sense because you lose Brook Lopez, you need to replace him. Myles Turner is one of the better defensive centers in the league. Plus, he can do a lot of things that Brook Lopez can do by being able to stretch the floor, hitting the mid range. He can hit a three. He can get to the basket and finish. He can also finish in the dunker spot real strong too. And he's a good free throw shooter for a center too. And that basically means he fits very well with Giannis Antetokounmpo and what he does by always staying out the way and always giving him an outlet to be able to pass, to be able to make those type of shots. And that's what Giannis has been able to adapt and adjust to since he's been having the ball a lot more in his hands. He can break down the defense and still get to the rim. He can still hit his mid-range shot that he's starting to learn how to do. And if he ends up getting double teamed or they trying to wall him off, he can always kick it to a guy like Torian Prince, who's back on the team, Bobby Portis, who's on the team, and now Myles Turner, who is also on the team. And it does make a lot of sense at the end of the day for them to go in this direction because you don't know how Dame is going to play. You don't know if he's going to look the same. But the thing about it is Dame getting paid anyway. When you use the stretch provision, you're still going to make the same amount of money. The difference is you're just not going to be on that roster anymore. You have the ability to be a free agent and sign with somebody else. And they already said a lot of people is hitting up Dame and his agent saying, we want you. You know, if you're going to take that stretch provision like the Bucks ended up doing, we want you on our roster. We still think you can help us win games. You might have a lesser role. You might not begin that team with a huge part of it, but at least you know you're still wanted. At least you know you're still going to be in the league, and at least you know you're still important to other places. And people say Miami can be a good sticking spot for him too because they always wanted him. It seemed like in trade rumors. Now they're gonna get a worse version of him, but Dame is a workaholic. He's gonna try to find a way to get back to where he fell from. And I can't really blame him from trying. He's not really a guy that's predicated game wise on athleticism. He's more of a guy that likes to create some space and hit jump shots or get all the way to the basket and finish at the rim. And if he can't do that, he likes to get to the free throw line. But his pull-up game is still going to be there. It's just going to be his timing. It's just going to be trusting his body again and trying to figure out a way to ultimately get his confidence back in his body and in his jump shot. Once he gets those two things figured out, he should be hood and ready to go. And that's the most important thing for him. But Myles Turner, I like this pickup for them. And they paying him a lot of money. You know, nobody expected Myles Turner to get paid this amount of money because there really wasn't that much money left. And Indiana wasn't even trying to pay him that much money. But if you have a chance to make over $100 million, you got to take it because that's rare, especially for a guy that's a non-all-star like Myles Turner. Now, he is an important piece, and he is one of the better centers. So it makes sense why he's getting paid like that. But I never thought that the Bucks would go in on a role player when you just lost a star. Damian Lillard is an all-star caliber player when healthy. We all know that, but he might be more of a Myles Turner, like a complimentary player, or we don't even know if he's going to be a backup player because we don't know the situation he's going to be in. But they're going to look at it like we got to bring you along slowly. And the Bucks just said we got to win on Giannis' timeline. We got to put the best roster that we can put out on that court because it's my job that's going to possibly be hurt or taken away if I don't do that. And it's my job to figure it out. And John Horst, who is their president, is doing a good job. Like, I don't really think that he made a mistake here. This just shows you how cutthroat and how the business really can be. Like, everybody that you think you should be loyal to, everybody that you think will, figure it out, they're showing you that no, we're going to get rid of the guy that you won't even think we'd get rid of just because we have to go in a different direction or we feel like this is what's best for the organization, even if the players don't like it. That's what a lot of players tell me. I don't really want to take a pay cut because they're going to do what they want with me anyway. I might as well make as much money as I can because I'm showing that I'm worth it. I'm showing you that I work for it. I show you that I'm a guy that deserves it. So if I earn it, me and my agent gonna take that money, and y'all gonna have to figure out how to build a roster around us, whoever the other teammates are. And even if I want me to take a pay cut, I'm not doing it because if anything comes where I gotta get injured or I gotta be gone, they're gonna take that opportunity to do it as quick and as fast as they can. And Damian Lillard is just another example of that. Where if Chris Middleton can get traded and he's been loyal to the Milwaukee, he helped them win a championship, and he had some nagging injuries that he kept getting banged up every single season, and they eventually got rid of him. It's not a shocker to me that they ended up getting rid of Damian Lillard too, because he might be gone for a year or a year and a half. We don't know how long Dame is going to be out. There's really no timetable for him right now because he's still in the early stages of the surgery. And now you're just trying to get that strength back. Now you're just trying to find a way to get some of that pain out of there. And it's going to be there for a long period of time. That's why I said it takes so long to be able to play basketball again, because he's trying to come back and be an athlete, not a normal person, just using your leg for the daily things of walking and driving. He's doing more than that, and he's going against guys that's not going to back down from him because they look at it like you're Damian Lillard still. You're not the same, but I don't want you feeling like you are, because any star can go off any night. And Dame is one of those guys that if he has it going, of course, he's going to try to take over that game and try to win that game because that's in his DNA, that's in his blood, that's in his bones to be able to do those type of things. But at the end of the day, the Bucks did what they had to do to stay competitive. They did what they had to do to ultimately put themselves in a situation where they can still win with Giannis Antetokounmpo, and that's their goal and that's their job and that's what they were supposed to do. And it sucks. I never was huge on the Damian Lillard trade. I never was going crazy over that trade. I never really felt that it really helped Giannis and them, drastically. Like some people were saying, some people thought when that trade happened that it was a guaranteed championship, that him and Giannis would be an unstoppable duo. The pick and roll game never really became what we thought it would be. They did find a way to put more floor spacers on the court with Giannis, and Dame was one of them, but Dame could not really defend how he needed to, and Dame never really dominated like he normally does. He is an older version of himself, even before the injury, and he never was known for his defense. He never was known for his efficiency. He was just known as a guy that can really get hot and a guy that can really take over the fourth quarter. And he didn't really take over a lot of fourth quarters either, and what I remember for him and his Bucks run. So I guess they were just looking at it like he's the best player we can get that's available right now. And now they feel the completely opposite since he's injured. So it sucks, from the Damian Lillard situation, because obviously you would love to come back and play with Giannis because he's still one of the top 3 players in the world, and he's one of the best defensive players still in this world. And you just look at it that way, like, man, I just ruined the opportunity where I can possibly win a championship. And they actually just won the cup last year too. So it's like that they was getting closer to getting there. And then Bobby Portis gets suspended. Then they get in this tough situation against the Indiana Pacers. And Dame couldn't even finish out that series. And he started already missing majority of that series in the start of it. So, this is always going to be a what if. What if Dame would have stayed healthy? What if Dame would have played more? What if Giannis didn't get injured 2 years ago in the playoffs? Could this team been a legitimate team in the Eastern Conference, or was we just talking ourselves into it and just believing in false hope that they was a better duo than we really want to give them credit for, since they didn't really do too much but win the cup, which is still good because it's still a tough thing to do, and it's something you should be proud of because that means y'all have the ability to play at a high level, because the Thunder was the best team even at that time besides the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Bucks beat them in a game that actually mattered in the NBA. So we always going to look at them as a what if duo, and it's mainly because of the injuries and the shortcomings of getting put out in the first round and still having a good enough supporting cast and a good enough coach to get it done. So basically what I'm saying, they had no excuses to, when it came to winning, they had no excuses why they failed, besides they just didn't play good enough, and they just still were trying to gel and figure out what they needed to do to be able to win games at a consistent level, which they did enough to make the playoffs, but not enough to be a top 3 team in the Eastern Conference, which is what we thought that they would be in the NBA. And you see other teams rise like Cleveland and obviously Indiana and the New York Knicks have more success than them in the playoffs, and they're still there. It's just some of those guys are a little beat up right now, and some of those guys are not. And then they still had the threat of trying to beat the Boston Celtics, who've been ruling the Eastern Conference before I was even born, and they're still ruling it to this day. But they lost Jason Tatum, and we got to see what we're going to do with our roster since we lost our superstar. But other than that, let me know how y'all feel about Dame getting stretched over 5 years. They're going to still be paying him. He's still going to get his money. He's still going to be on the cap. But they get Myles Turner, who is one of the best two-way centers in the game, one of the best floor spacing centers in the game, and just a great rim protector. Not the greatest rebounder. That's the biggest problem with him. He has the athleticism. He has the strength. He has the size. He has the length. But he still hasn't been able to get, dirty on them boards. He hasn't been able to do that. But people are going to say, well, Brook Lopez wasn't really great on the rebounds either, but he was still a great defender and a good rim protector for the Bucks, and they ended up becoming the number 1 team in the NBA. And I would say, yeah, that's true. And obviously, Myles Turner is way more athletic, even at Brook Lopez's peak. So that could be something that can be a calling card for them. And hopefully he brings his 100% A game and he scores and shoots the ball better than he did in the NBA Finals, where he basically was a no-show some games. But other than that, I ain't got nothing really crazy to say besides comment, like, subscribe, and share, and hit the notification bell for more analysis. And if you're new to the channel, I do conversation videos just like this and very only topics. I also do breakdowns with real footage of legends, current legends, rookies, and also future stars. I also do mock draft and draft coverage, so you love that type of stuff. This is the channel for you because I got over 3,000 videos that's already on my channel that you can watch and enjoy. But not only that, I also do make videos each and every day that I'm living. You can look at this as a form of entertainment when it comes to basketball content. I'm a pioneer for basketball content, so I've been doing it for 10 plus years for an NBA only channel, basically. And only that, hope you guys enjoyed your weekend. Hope you guys enjoying your weekday. Hopefully you guys are continuing to grind and setting goals and setting more goals to keep yourself occupied, locked in, and focused and happy. Not only that, thank y'all for appreciating the content for what it is. Thank y'all for continuing to come back and making time for your boy Quinn Wade. And thank y'all for continuing to support me in the past and now, and also hopefully in the future. And thank y'all for continuing to watch the content. That's a 50-50 reason why this channel is still going on, because you guys love what I make. You guys love what I continue to put out, and I love making it and giving it to y'all. And that's why the channel been so successful for so many years, still to this day. And let's not forget, let's make 2015 a day of the past, and a day of the present. 2025 should be a better year, because I learned and got so much better at this, and I know how to give y'all what y'all want, because that year was so pivotal to what I do to this day. Why not try to one up yourself at the end of the day? And that's what I'm trying to do this year, and that's the number 1 goal for the channel. Other than that, y'all stay blessed up. I got more free agency coverage coming up next, and stay tuned for that. Get ready to watch that, because it's not going to take me that long to get back into the studio and get those done. And let's have some fun. But remember, I got more breakdowns coming, more NBA tributes coming, free agency coming, summer league coming, season previews coming. And that's going to happen if I live long enough through the rest of this year. It's just more content for you guys to enjoy and watch. And that should be something fun for you guys to look forward to this winter, this summer, and this fall. Other than that, I'm going for now. Y'all stay blessed up. Peace out. Gone. Y'all stay blessed up, man.